morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good wherever you are. So again, just a general session today, but with a little bit of awareness of abdominal support. So if you have done the little ab fab tabata class with me, you can use that support system during your practice today. If you haven't, it doesn't matter, we'll find the abdominal muscles anyway. So we're going to start lying down today, on your backs, legs bent, feet flat on the floor. You're going to slide one hand under your lower back, that nice little space you've got there, so the back of your hand's touching your body, palm of your hand on your mat. And the other hand on the belly. And just as you inhale and exhale, notice any movement you're aware of against either of your hands, or one hand, the other hand, both hands. Close your eyes. Allow your breath to bring you into the present moment. Switch hands so the other hand's on the belly and the hand that was on your belly is now behind your back. Allow your breath to be full and deep, that it's unforced, it's easy. Now, with whichever hand's sort of position feels the most comfortable, you can switch your hands around again. And as you exhale this time, a real drawing back of the navel to the spine, and you may find that your back starts to press into the hand that's behind it, and maybe that hand starts to press into the mat. Keep your tailbone long to begin with. Good. So breathing in, breathing out. You can use the lifting of the pelvic floor muscles as well. Now you're going to add just a soft tuck of the tailbone. So not so much that your hips start to roll up off your mat. Inhale, exhale, think navel to spine. And then that little slight curl of the tailbone so you can really feel your back pressing into your hand. Breathe in, everything relaxes. Exhale, navel to spine, pelvic floor muscles in and up. A slight curl of the tailbone. Switch hands again, breathing in. Exhale, draw in and tuck. So keep that tucking of the tail really subtle. Well done. So as we continue with this idea of the tailbone tucking slightly, we're just going to add a bit more movement through the pelvis. So this time bring your hands to your hip points. And as you inhale, allow your hip points to roll towards your thighs. And as you exhale, think hip points towards you. And that will create more of a tuck. But always draw the navel back to the spine again. And pelvic floor muscles lifting in and up. Breathe in. So you've got pelvic rocking now. And with the heel of the hands resting on the hip points and your hands just resting softly on either side of your belly there, you may find that you'll start to becoming aware of, or you're becoming aware of, a firming up under the hands with that strong contraction as you let your breath go. Well done, just one more. Well done. So let's just have the hands resting on the thighs. So you're going to continue to use that strong contraction. drawing in of the navel as it draws back to the spine, and that slight, subtle curl of the tailbone. But this time we're thinking of the hip points just going to stay facing up. So we're avoiding this rocking action. So without your hands behind your back, take a huge inhale. Exhale, navel to spine. A little subtle curl of the tail, and feel your back nestling into your mat. Good. Keep that there now. Keep it strong. Inhale a little higher up. Exhale. Just stop by lifting your head and then slide your hands up to the knees. That's not a huge movement, but it's really working your deep core muscles. Good. Breathe in as you lower down. Exhale, lift the head first, engage your tummy a bit more. Slide your hands up. And again. Lift the head. Try not to jam your chin into your chest. Good. 2 more. Coming up. This time we're going to stay up and just do some little pulses, just 5 pulses. So come up. And we sort of, as if we're trying to reach past the top of the knees. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Slowly release. Let the weight of the head come into the support of the floor and just roll your head softly from side to side. So try and remember to keep your eyes relaxed. It's quite easy to bring tension into the eyes when you're working with the tummy muscles. So we're going to go a little further now. If you'd like to move on with me, you can. Otherwise, you can repeat what we've just done. If you're repeating what we've just done, you can take it up a notch by bringing your hands to the back of the head and lifting. Imagine you're trying to lift your chest to the ceiling rather than towards your thighs. Okay. Otherwise, same hand position. So we're going to use the hands to lift the head up, and then we're going to press the hands lightly back into the head. And then come to tabletop position. So really engage your tummy to support that movement. Now, as you exhale, you'll turn to the left, right elbow towards the left knee, and straighten out the right leg. Look towards that back elbow. Then come back to the centre, move to the other side, look towards the back elbow. Now you can work with your shoulders down for a bit more support, or you can lift the shoulders up. Nice and slowly. You might already be feeling this. We're going to go a little bit more quickly without losing the support. So we don't sacrifice support for speed. We're going to go a bit more quickly. Maybe side to side to side to side. Couple more. Then come back to the centre. Good. Release your head. Pop your feet down one at a time. Soles of the feet together. Knees open. Good. So same hand position. Hands behind the head. Now if you find this too much, you can come back to your legs bent. Bring your knees together and just try and get your tail up a little bit off the mat. Then bring your feet back down. So it's knees towards you. Using that squeeze in the belly to lift the tail, rather than just flinging your legs up in the air to get that lift of the hips. Many people find the hips lifting a real challenge. So I always like to say that even if your hips aren't lifting, you can feel them getting a little bit lighter against the floor. It's almost like they're almost ready to lift off. Okay, otherwise you're in cobra pose. I'll quickly demonstrate. So, Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining bad angle. You will bring the knees towards you and then lift in that sort of cobbler position. It's a real workout for the belly and the back. So that's what we're going to do just a few times. We'll do maybe 5 or 6, have a rest, and we'll come back to it. Good, so hands behind your head. And try not to just interlink your hands. Have your sort of fingers like spiders, or maybe not spiders. Anyway, they're supported back of the head. Okay, so firm up through that navel centre. I'd like you to exhale as you lift. So inhale on the floor, exhale exhale, lift. Inhale, back down. Exhale, lift. Good. Let's just do 2 more. And we'll finish just letting the knees open, soles of the feet together again. Release the weight of the head onto the floor. Just let your arms settle comfortably away from the body. Okay, let's go again. Here we go. I've moved quite a bit down my mat actually. I think I'll just shift back up. So support your head with your hands. Remember just a light pressing of the head back into the hand so that you don't just end up pushing your head forwards and potentially hurting your neck. Here we go. Inhale on the floor. Exhale as you lift. And lift. Good. 2 more after this one. Last one. And relax. Once again, release your hands from your head. So coming back to bridge pose, so use your hands to draw your knees up and together. Separate the feet about hip width. And this bridge we're going to do on our heels. So lifting the feet up so you've just got your heels on the mat. You may need to just take your feet a tiny bit further away. And then coming up, arms by your side or 90 degrees, fingers interlinked apart from your index finger. And we circle over to the left, down towards the floor, around to the right and up. But the hips just skim the floor, not actually touching down. 5 one way. And now 5 in the opposite direction. So if you imagine the shape of a mixing bowl, that you perhaps mix ingredients in for baking, imagine you're going down one side of the bowl, across the bottom and up the other side. Good. And release. Pop your feet down, release your arms and slowly return to your mat. So we're just going to work with a little bit of a twist and we'll be circling the legs from side to side. So I'll just show you. So we'll come and we'll go over to the left. Right leg will be straight and we sweep the right leg like you're circling back behind. Other leg follows and top leg can be straight. Actually you can do bent or straight. So if you just do side to side movement, circling one way then the other. Okay, brilliant. If that's not for you, then simply just have your arms out and maybe knees to the chest. Take both knees one way and then through the centre and to the other way. Keeping the knees as close to your chest as you can. All right. Otherwise, we'll all start that way actually, so then we can all finish and end in the same place. Knees to chest. You can take the knees over to the left. Good. So if you're working with that circle, just let the top be a bit sort of loose and the foot is facing more to the side of the room rather than down towards the other foot. Good. So you're going to breathe in, come through centre, circle and over to the right. Keep that going. Circling one way and then the other, walking down my mat again. You may find your head moves nicely and quietly to the opposite direction. One more to each side. So one more to the left, one more to the right, and come back to the centre. Bring your knees together. Okay, so you've still got your knees towards your chest and the soles of the feet are facing up. You're going to widen the knees, keeping the legs bent. So you're going to hold on to the sides of the feet if that's doable for you. If not, hold on to your ankles or you can hook your arms around the backs of the thighs. We're going to rock from side to side. So firming up through the navel, you'll rock over to the left, almost to the floor, and then back through centre, over to the right. Now you're trying not to just lead with one leg. Oh, good. You're keeping your feet the distance they are away from each other as you move from side to side. Good, well done. Couple more. One more to the left. One more to the right. Back to the centre. Good. Relax the legs, relax the arms, and just shake them off in the air. Breathe in. Breathe out through your mouth. Fold your knees in towards you and make your way up. Ready for some work on all fours. Good. So, cat-cow. Why not? Breathing in, allow your belly muscles to lengthen. Exhale, and obvious. So remember that movement we did on the floor, navel to spine, and that subtle tuck of the tailbone. Just go for the subtle tuck here, rather than the complete sort of round. So think subtle tuck of tailbone, and bring that firming up more through the navel to spine, rather than the idea of tucking the tail right under. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, and just a soft movement of the head as well, so just an awareness of the chin coming in rather than again just jamming in towards the chest and the throat. Well done, one more. Good. So we're going to do a little bit of a balance, and then we'll go into a little push-up. So everybody might work differently in the push-up, but we'll all have the same hand position, and you may choose to work with, and I'll tell you when we get there, I don't need to go through it just yet. So we do a little balance, we'll slide the left leg back so your knee is off the floor. And you're going to extend the right arm in line with the right ear so your fingers are your palms facing in. This is fine, and you can hang out here. Think navel to spine and that subtle curl of the tailbone. Just to finish off the movement, maybe tuck the back toes and then lift that left foot. Press the floor away with your hands and really feel that everything's being drawn up from the back of the body as well as the front of the body. Just one more breath. Then we release. We do another little cat-cow. Just soft and easy movement. Okay, other side. So you're firming up through both hands initially. You're sliding your right foot back. Your toes are tucked here, but your knee is released off the floor. And you can keep your foot down the whole time, it's fine. You're going to extend the left arm by the left ear. And kind of think shoulder back and down rather than elevating towards the ear. Option to lift that back leg, maybe tuck the left toes before you do that. And be careful you haven't just collapsed in the middle when you lift that leg, so firm up. You can extend the toes, you can flex the foot on that raised leg. Maybe experiment. And then release. Good. Just for a sec, sit on your heels. Have a little lean into the hands. Open the belly, open the chest. Lift the chin. Then come back up and just give the wrists a little bit of attention. So circling is good. You can interlink the hands and do this little roll. You can make fists, up and down movement. Sometimes it's nice to gently pull, as if you're trying to lengthen the gap between your arm and your hand to create space in the joint. And then you've got more ability to kind of ease off as you've made more space. Brilliant, so now our little push-up. We do it a couple of times. So the first one we'll do both knees down. So coming onto hands and knees. We're going to take the knees about 6 inches further back. Then we're going to firm up through the navel. Pelvic floor is going to lift in and up. Be careful your shoulders haven't come back with you. So think plank rather than downward dog. And then that subtle tuck of the tailbone. Turn your hands in a little bit. Your elbows are going to bend out to the side. We're going to inhale. Then exhale as we lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. We're not trying to go all the way down. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, stay up. Sit on the heels and maybe give your wrists a little bit of TLC again. So we're going to repeat the same movement with the arms, but we may, in fact we will, we're going to do this 3 times in total. We're going to go back to that same position we had a moment ago when we were on our hands and we went into that little balance, but this time we'll keep the foot down behind us. So you'll be extending one leg. So hands and knees, hands turned in slightly, knees back 6 inches. Good, tuck your left toes and slide your leg, your foot back so your leg is now straight. Obviously you can repeat with both knees down. We're just going to do 5. Good. We're going to change the breath a minute. Inhale as we lower. Exhale to lift. Just 2 more. But of course, we have another 5 to do. With the other leg straight. Good. Sit on the heels. So fortunately, I think sometimes you forget how strong this is for your tummy because other parts of your body are talking to you, and it may be your wrists. So do take care and just come away from it if you find it too much, or just make the movement a bit less weight bearing and so a bit shallower a movement. Spread your fingers and really share the weight of your body. It's coming all the way down your arm through your wrists. If you have that little kind of pressy finger paddy thing into the mat, it's going to draw some of that work past the wrist joint and into your hands, which is where we want it. Every one of your fingers and both of your thumbs equally supporting this little movement. Other side, here we go. Hands in slightly, knees back a little bit. Maybe working with both knees down. Stretch out the right leg. Good. Inhale, exhale, up. 2, 3, just 2 more. 4, 5, well done. So once again, I just maybe lean to one side, circle one wrist, and lean to the other, and circle the other wrist, maybe make a little basket behind you, turn the palms away, palms towards you. Palms towards you can see is the opposite to what we've been doing on the floor, so it's called a counter pose, when you use the shape of your body to counter the position it's just been in. Alright, our final one, we've just got a funky little leg position to try. So you'll be on one knee, so you may find that you'd like to pad your knee, and a nice way to do that, you can just roll your mat up so you've got a double layer or triple layer of mat under your knee. So exactly what we've just done, except we're going to lift that back leg up and possibly support it in the foot of the other leg, which is why we will be on one knee. Alright, good. So I'll just do my little demo for you. Your knees are always back about 6 inches, same hand position. So we'll stretch out that left leg. So you'll bend your right leg, lift the left and just rest it on the sole of the right foot. Here we go. And we'll breathe in, rocking over the knee, coming back up. So you've got a few options, so you can go right back to 2 knees, you can do individual legs. You could probably actually lift the leg and keep the other leg completely down on the floor, so you can work from here if you wish, but there's a temptation just to let this leg flap up and down rather than having it resting on the foot. So as we've done already, 5 one side, 5 the other. Here we go, let's set ourselves up, too much talking, here we go. Stretching out the left leg. Good. If you're finding it too much on the wrist, you can just bring your shoulders a little bit further back for this last little repetition, and that's just a little easier on the wrists. Bending that right leg, maybe just letting the left leg rest on the right foot. Here we go, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1, 1. Well done. Take a moment, come up, You may find your attention has gone to your knee, so you give that a little bit of a rub. Good. Okay, other side. Here we go, last one. Stretch out the right leg. Bend the left. Let your right leg rest on the sole of the other foot. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, navel strong. 1. Well done. So once again, just give yourself time to sort out the wrists. We've got one more little thing to do in plank. It's what I call micro movements, so just tiny little pulses. This time the elbows are going to face back. So it's more about the back of the arm. The chest will be reaching, think of the chest going forwards rather than dropping down. So if you know Chaturanga from a yoga perspective, it's kind of like just if you broke it down into different frames of movement, it'd be like the sort of first part of that movement only. If you don't know Chaturanga, as always, doesn't matter. So, hands and knees. Knees back about 6 inches. So this time, I'll just remind you if you're not familiar, navel to spine. Think of your chest reaching forward. So, chest, chest. So chest forwards. It'll look like it's coming down, but we're thinking that way rather than that way. Okay, here we go. Spread your fingers. Firm up through all of the fingers, both of your thumbs. Press the floor away with your hands. A little clawing action. Excuse me, one of my hairs has invaded my mouth. Okay, some things I can ignore. That isn't one of them. Shoulders up, back and down. Navel to spine. Tail tuck here. Tuck it just that subtle curling under. Good. Here we go. We're going to do 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Now come up, sit on your heels if that's okay. Just bring your, the back of the left hand onto the floor. And just lean back a little bit onto your heels. Try and keep as much of the back of your hands as you can on your mat. That's a nice little release. And same thing on the other side. So right hand on the floor. Start to lift up away, but keep as much of your hand on the floor as you can. Well done. And release. Good. So we're going to come up onto the knees in a moment. So again, you can continue to pad your knees if you wish. In fact, we'll do that now. We'll come up onto the knees. So we're aiming to keep this beautiful line here as we lean back, sometimes called Z, letter Z, or Z movement. We're going to have the arms extended forwards. If you feel that you need a little bit more support, you can have your hands on your waist as you go forwards and backwards. So this is absolutely fine. You can see I'm not going too far back because we're going to go back a few forwards and backwards. Then we're going to hold the sort of angle position and just do a few pulses. It's really strong for the quadriceps, for your thigh muscles. So make sure you've got your real strong core support with you. Okay, so let's engage that tummy support first. Good. If you remember, if you did the ab fab tab, we did that little cough to find the muscles we're trying to firm up. So if you'd like to do that again, you can prop your hands on your body and just have a little cough and feel where everything firms up. Hold on to that squeeze and draw the pelvic floor muscles in and up. And that, again, that subtle curling under of the tailbone. Hands to the waist or arms forward, left palm resting on top of right. Again, it's as if you're holding something really precious in the palm of your hand. Good. Gonna inhale here, exhale here. Inhale, exhale. We don't need to do many. Change the cross of your hands. Inhale, Exhale. One more. Good, we're going to hang out here and just do a couple of pulses. Release your hands so the palms are up. 5, 4, 3, well done. 2, 1. Good, come up, sit down on the heels. Bring your hands behind you. Maybe press your hips up just to release and lengthen the front of those thighs. You can keep your hips down if you prefer. And then come back to your start position. And let's find child's pose. So there's a kind of gratitude for stillness, I think, sometimes, especially when you've moved your body and you're kind of rewarding yourself with doing nothing. Well done. So I think we'll come up to standing now. So if you come up onto your knees again, we'll step 1 foot forwards, hands to the waist, tuck your back toes, and come up. Try to avoid leaning or tipping to one side. Let's go back down. So leave it the same leg. Come back to your knees. Let's do the other side. 1 foot forwards, tuck your back toes, press, up you come. And you're standing tall. Brilliant. So going to work with Malasana. This is a wide squat position. We'll just do a couple of sort of movements, transition between Malasana and Virabhadasana, so that's wide squat and warrior 2, side to side. If possible, you're just going to transition without your hips lifting up too much. So nice wide feet, that little check, remember, extend your arm, your wrist is more or less over your heel and ankle. So we turn the feet enough so that as you sit down and back a little bit, so your knees are always facing in the same direction as your toes. So just check you're not here. It's not good for your knees. Good. So we're going to bring the hands together at the heart center. Good. So you'll inhale. As you exhale, you'll turn to the right. You'll scooch out the left heel and press the palms away, looking towards the tip of the right fingers. You'll come back to the center, so you're back to Malasana, and then we'll go to the left. And again. I've got squeaky feet today. Oh, I know what it is. I put some cream on my feet. Here we go. 1 more to each side. Last one. And coming back to Malasana. We're going to go a little deeper. So you hopefully get your elbows to the inside of your thighs and hold on to the inner lower legs. If that's not you, you can rest your forearms on your thighs. So you can do some pulsing here. So press the knees and the legs open. Pulse, pulse. So just like you're kind of gently bouncing your bottom up and down. Well done. Good, now come back to your Malasana position, standing tall, hands at prayer pose. Adjust your feet if you need to. Okay, so we're going to transition between here and warrior 2 again, but adding a coming up as well. Good, so you breathe in to come up. Exhale, palms away, warrior 2 to the right. Breathe in up, exhale down. Breathe in up, exhale, warrior 2 to the left. Breathe in, up, exhale down, up, warrior 2 right, up, Malasana, up, warrior 2 left, up, Malasana, and again, last one to each side. This time we're going to hold Malasana and just do a few pulses here. 10, 9, press your knees back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing, come up. Exhale, release your arms. Heel toe, but lightly hop your feet together. Brilliant. We're going to go straight to dancer balance. It's a nice way to start to release the thighs. We'll have a standing kind of prep first. Standing on both feet, hands to your hips. You're going to bend your right leg. I'll turn to the side. You bend your right leg and kick your bottom with your heel. And you can hold on to a wall or a chair that feels nice and stable. Otherwise, hand to the waist. Now what we're going to do here, I'll face you as we do it. What we're going to do is we're going to really get a feel of length on the front of the thigh. So I'd like you to soften your standing leg and let this knee come out to the side a bit. Good. Lift your chest, straighten your standing leg, and then draw the knee to touch the other knee. If you can hold the foot with both hands, it's fine. So do that again. Relax, open, lift, straighten, and draw the knee in. So and release. So drawing your heel into your bottom is the opposite of dancer balance. Just to remind you, dancer balance, you're looking to push and open from here. But we're just releasing the front of the thigh before we move on. So same thing on the other side. Standing on both feet, releasing. Quite often you do see people working in this position. It's not really good for your knee. So that's why when we soften, it allows that knee to be kind of loose. You'll feel that looseness. And then we lift the chest, we straighten the standing leg, and we draw the knee in. So it's in line with the other knee. Drawing the heel in towards the bottom. Just double check you're not bowing to get your bum back to your heels. So keep your hips, awareness of your hips pressing forwards. Okay, and release. Let's do it again. So draw it in, soften. Won't be on the side. Release. Lift the chest, straighten the leg. Pull the knees together. And release. Well done. So natural Shavasana, about dancer balance. We'll go back to the first side. We'll hold on to the right leg. So I'll turn sideways on. So we're going to start the same way. Let's have the hands to the waist. Curl the right heel in towards your right bum cheek and grab your foot with your hand. On the outside of the foot if you can. That's a nice opening for the shoulder. Again, you can use the support of a wall if you'd like to. If you find grabbing the foot a real challenge, you might be able to hook your fingers around your leggings or your whatever you're wearing, or you may find you just have to keep the leg at an angle and you'll press it away and leaning, just tilting forward slightly when we go a little further. You can always use a strap as well around the foot. Okay, here we go. So curl the heel in towards you. Now what I'd like to think about today is start to push your foot into your hand so your hand goes away, and now let that knee lift out to the side a little bit. So you're opening through the hip as well. Maybe reach forward with the left hand, palm is up. I'd like you to have awareness of that left knee not being locked out. Just hold it, lean, find your tipping point, and then return, stand tall for a moment. Well done. Other side, so I'll turn around so you can see how I'm working. Good. So, kick your bottom with your heel. So left heel towards left bum cheek, right hand is on the right side waist. Start to kick your leg, your foot back into your hand. You can see that. There's a lovely opening through the shoulder. Now rather than thinking leg right up behind you, just think leg a little bit out. I'll come to support so I can chat as well. Think more leg out to the side. So you've got this lovely opening and release here, as well as over the front of the thigh. All right. Once you find your balance, you can release that right arm. Soft palm. Hang out. Try not to lock your standing leg. And remember to save some energy to come back out. Brilliant. Take your feet a little bit wider, soften your knees, you've got a little bit of a bounce, and just start to swing side to side. So you've got a nice little therapeutic contact with the kidneys as you do this. You can let your shoulders go too. If you're okay to close your eyes, you can. If you find it a challenge, then just keep your eyes open. Slow it down and we come to our little ski sigh breath. I'll turn sideways. Feet slightly wider than hip width. Good. Soft knees. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Ha! Nice deep bend. Arms kind of swing down, forwards and up behind you. Breathe in. Up. Exhale. Ha! And again. Ha! 2 more. Ha! And again. Ha! Come up, stay up, release your hands. Just come to the short end of your mat. Softly come forwards and down. Hands to the mat. And step your left foot to the back of your mat. So a nice little release for that back thigh. Walk your right foot a little bit further forwards. Just have awareness of the back leg here. We're going to have a little twist, so keep your left hand on the floor. Wrap your right arm behind your back as you turn your body towards that right leg. Again, you might like to pad your knee for this next movement. You can bend the right leg and bend the left leg, grab it with the right hand. And this time, rather than we'll do the same action. We'll push the foot into the hand. So it's kind of a bit like dancer balance, only we're on the floor. Not here for long. As you release that foot, we're just going to rock forwards and backwards. Now what we're going to aim to do in a moment is to sit back onto the floor with the left leg still bent. So we're going to walk back, walk back. Now if it's too much for you to do that, and just uncurl your leg, make your way onto the floor, and then just stick your right leg out to the side and curl the heel in towards you with your right knee open out, your left knee, open out, rather than it facing forwards. And nicely release for that front thigh, hands behind you again, maybe coming onto the forearms. Chest lifts, belly muscles lengthen and open. A little bit of a gap between your chin and your chest. Close your eyes. There are options here, so if you feel that it's doable for you, you can come all the way down. Maybe take your arms up and overhead. You'll feel how that brings much more attention onto that, the front of the left thigh here. So, and as always, the knee is really important here. So if you're feeling any discomfort in your knee, whatever you're doing, just move softly away from it. Good. If you're lying down, come back onto your forearms. If you're on your forearms, come back onto your hands. If your knee's out to the side, then just take a moment to adjust, come back onto all fours, and then return to the same lunge position. Right foot forwards, left foot back, tuck if you like that back knee, release the back knee and step back to downward dog. Maybe one of 2 downward dogs today. Release your knees, and this time step your left foot forwards. See if you can walk your right foot a tiny bit further back. And you've got that nice lengthening on the front of that left thigh. And we've got that little twist. So your right hand stays on the mat. You wrap your left arm behind your back. This is absolutely fine. You don't have to go any further. Or you can bend the back leg and hold it there, or maybe you can hold the back foot with the left hand. Pushing the foot into the hand again, like we did in dancer balance when we were standing up. Spinning your chest towards the left. Well done. Take a time to release the knee and just rocking forwards and backwards. So front leg bends and straightens, back leg straightens and bends. So you know where we're going. We're aiming to walk back, to sit on the floor on the inside of that back right foot. Not for everyone, so take your time. So if you're in a lunge here, you may just want to bend your legs, sit on your bottom, stretch your legs out, and then curl the heel in towards you as you take your right knee out to point towards the right. Alright, so half saddle pose. It's a yin yoga position or shape. So hands, forearms. Please don't be in any rush to get the furthest you can. Take a moment. So feeling where the body was working strongly for you, now trying to lengthen. That's what that sort of gentle pulling sensation is on the front, and that's what it should be. A sort of tugging, pulling sensation on the front of that right leg. As the muscle fibers try to glide away from and along each other to bring length to the muscles themselves. So retracing your journey of how you got to where you were, maybe take a breath or two in each position. So we do end up back in our lunge again. And we'll have our second of our only 2 downward dogs. Step back, take a huge inhale, and exhale, release your knees and make your way onto your back. Good. So feet as wide as the mat. With this lovely kind of what they call windscreen wiper movement. It's really good for easing through any tension or tightness in the quads, the quadricep muscles, the fronts of the thighs. So we'll just take them one way. Your hands can be perhaps on your belly, on your heart, or maybe they're just happy to be on the floor. So we take them to the left, we take them to the right. And then they just end up sort of flopping lazily over to the left. And you can hook your left foot on the outside of your right knee if you like. And gently press your foot against the knee and your knee back against your foot. Just do that for a breath or two. And then as you let your breath go, see if that right knee goes a little closer or is a bit more happier where it is. Uncross the foot if it's there, bring your knees back to the centre, make sure your feet are still as wide as your mat. Take them over to the right. Same thing again, right foot to the outside of the left knee. That might be enough, or you can do that little counter push and press, foot against knee, knee against foot. So that will either mean that where you are will feel more comfortable, less of a challenge, or your knee might get closer to the floor. And then let your breath go, relax. Good, unhook your foot, come back to the centre. Yeah, let's just heel toe the feet together. We'll cross the ankles as we bring the knees towards us. Separate the knees. Just like you've got a little, you're using your hands just to squeeze the knees in. And you may even find that the back of your hips curl up off the mat. Keep that movement but change the cross of your ankles. So your knees are wide, ankles are crossed. Then uncross the ankle, bring the knees together. And this time try and keep your tailbone long. So your back and your hips stay on the floor. Maybe curling your head up as you exhale. Maybe rolling back down as you inhale. One more, whatever you decided to do, whatever you've chosen to do. Coming back down onto the floor. Settling yourself down into your relaxation pose, maybe knees together, feet wide, maybe legs extended along the floor, into the more classical Shavasana relaxation position. Arms away from the body, palms facing the sky. So you're checking in with the whole body before you come onto your breath. You're checking that the palms are soft. It's as if they're making a soft C shape, the fingers and the thumbs curling softly in towards the palms. You roll the head a little bit from side to side to release the weight of the head into the floor. Bringing it back to the centre, backs of the shoulders melting into the mat, backs of the hips. Feel the weight of your hips against the floor. And maybe with the feet and legs in that nice wide V shape, turn your toes to face each other, and then just like on a spring, let them spring out to the sides. So draw them in and then flop out to the sides. Do that one more time. Take a huge inhale. Just hold your breath for a second or two, then let it go through the mouth. Bringing your attention back to your breath. And with each exhalation, giving yourself permission to let go, surrendering to the stillness of Shavasana for as long as you need. Namaste.